What's the biggest red flag when meeting new people? When they try to one-up you in everything you say. I've seen a lot of answers along the lines of when they say negative things about others, which I agree with BTW, but for me a huge red flag is when someone can't let someone else receive praise or be the center of attention. I've met people in the past who have shown small signs of jealousy when I've praised mutual friends, siblings, strangers etc. And in each case it was indicative of bigger jealousy and self-esteem issues that led to some messed up stuff. When they start talking about the tons of money I am going to be making with their new business venture and selling knives door to door. They don't listen to what you say and respond accordingly. They only wait for you to stop talking so they can talk about whatever they want to talk about. They don't really listen to you or pay attention to what you're talking about, but expect you to be totally engaged with whatever they say and act put out if you aren't. When they're judgmental and critical of others, but never of themselves. Hi, my name is, and I'm an asshole. Literally how the shop manager introduced himself to everyone, like it's an excuse. When you barely know them and they act like your best friend then later ask to borrow money. People think I'm rich, but I'm really just blunt and tell the truth. They can't handle that. Nah, chances are you're just rich. Subtle signs that they aren't remotely interested in you, and the only way you two are together is maybe because an obligation favor. People change their tune often when they have to conceal their feelings of disdain for someone. If they can't take no for an answer. Too much information too quickly. People who divulge too much about themselves from the offset generally have poor boundary issues. I speak from experience. I am a recovering poor boundary haver. Asking me to PM them my ankle. Massive red flag. Everyone here talking about slightly negative people, but OP asked for the biggest red flag, so I'm gonna go with having a swastika scar on their forehead. You immediately start hearing from them about all the time other people have hurt them, betrayed them, or otherwise been assholes to them. If everyone you encounter is an asshole, chances are, you're the asshole. When they say they like poopy. Belittling their so in front of people but insisting it's a joke every time. Sadly in this situation I used to be the belittled so. I have only ever met 2 men that I'm aware of who lied to me about their ages when we met. Both of these men turned out to be extremely unpleasant and abusive people. I dated one of them and knew the GF of the other one. I think people who lie easily even over trivial things tend to have very complex psychological problems and are best steered clear of more than 2 to 2 drops. Let's be honest, we often see these red flags but deliberately push on to form a relationship. If the relationship goes bust, we critique ourselves for not heeding the warning signs. This is an unjust self-criticism. When they only talk about themselves. One of my bosses once told me that whenever you start a new job position that's usually the first person who tries really hard to be your friend is the problem child of the office. They'll usually start telling you of people to avoid as well. I've found this very useful. When they bring up topics out of nowhere just so they can spout their opinions and not actually have a conversation, it's very telling about their personality. When they're instantly rude to, for example, waiters or strangers in general. How they treat waiters, waitress, cashiers, janitors, bus drivers and everyone in the service industry. A co-worker friend of mine left a bunch of trash at the cinema after we finished watching a movie. I angrily pick up his trash, chased him and told him to throw it away at the bin 3 meters outside of the cinema. And he replied, dude, why are you so Japanese? I did graduated from Japan. I'm just letting the janitors doing their job. No dude, it's not being Japanese. It's being having manners. Couldn't look at him the same way again ever since. If they are unaware of people around them in a social sense, like, they don't thank service staff or stand in the middle of crowded walkways and not move out of the way of others. Congratulations, you have made friends with a toddler. This is not the biggest of red flags, just ones that have recently pissed me off. When they shake your hand way to ducking hard. Like WTF you psycho. I still remember you Ben you whack job. I'm starting a communist revolution. To me that's a big red flag. People that are not considerate with your time. Being 5 minutes late every so often isn't a big deal. But when people are consistently 20 minutes late and make people wait, say for a dinner. If you won't let you get 2 words in before interrupting anything you say. When you mention something you enjoy and they immediately put it down. I enjoy going on photography walks around cities. That sounds really st. Okay well kindly get lost Mr. Mrs. Stranger. Usually when people speak of having a lot of people in their life that somehow turned on them and now they don't speak anymore. I remember one old co-worker would become super fast friends with someone. Then within weeks we don't really talk anymore once. I'll accept. Hell even twice. But when it's 4-5 times over. Guess what? It's not everyone else. I'm an alpha type. Aka I'm a self-centered asshole who doesn't know how or won't learn to behave in public. When they constantly put down other people's opinions even and done in a nice way and only their way of thinking is right. They always go yeah but. Or actually I think. If they nitpick your appearance or do a give and take. I just talked to a girl from a dating app who did that. And after I called her out for being very rude, she doubled down. It's a red flag for emotional abuse emo. I usually test my friends to see if they're worthy of my friendship. Former friend. She told my GF she was testing her one day and now she's super confused as to why it didn't go over so well. When they have no problem dishing about others, especially friends, in a hateful way, not only do I not want to hear what you have to say, but now I don't trust you. If they don't have any empathy at all. A word choice. People who refer to women as itches, men as dees, or anyone by a derogatory term pertaining to them. If we're already friends and they use it jokingly not meaningfully, that's different. But people complaining about my itch of an ex are almost always people I don't want to hang out with. They're carrying a big cross and wearing a white hood. When they ask how I have fun at parties if I'm not drinking at them. If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Such a ducking narcissist thing to say. When they monopolize a conversation. When they steer the conversation so that you end up being shown a phone full of photos. When they engage in a whole monologue about their health or relationship issues. When they brag a lot if not about themselves then their family members. They only have negative things to say about others. You know what they say about if everyone you meet is an asshole. If you have to invite them before they'll enter your house. If they avoid direct sunlight. And the biggest of all, no reflection in a mirror. A few red flags for me are 1. They flake or cancel plans at the last minute constantly without reason. 2. They rant about their personal problems and don't talk to you at all about common interests. 3. They never have money on them but ask you to take them around to places. A people user. 4. They start drama such as fights with you or others. Toxic. 5. When emergency situations happen, they're nowhere to be found or heard from. All they talk about is themselves and don't ask a single thing about you. I get the feeling that they just want to only talk about themselves. Don't care who it's to and don't really care about the person they are speaking to. They try to project their voice as loudly as possible to overplay their actual feebleness but then the capillaries in their nose burst from the effort and they grin at you through rivulets of blood seeping into the interstices between their perfectly bleached teeth. Of course, blood is an emetic so they will retch and eventually vomit out a perfectly formed sausage on the floor before you. It's a condom filled with sugar. Turns out they're a drug mule. Everybody needs to make a living. But I'm wary of such people. They try to become close friends with you immediately when you've hardly known each other at all. They expect you to like them right away and don't seem to give you time to get to know them. Hello, I'm legally required to tell you that in a register red 6 offender. When they talk down to the servers in a restaurant. When they just can't stop using their phone for even 5 minutes to actually have a conversation. immediately tells you the most intimate things about themselves and the people in their lives, like a listing garbage barge emergency offloading cargo. When they volunteer information like I don't like to hit women or I don't usually drink that much. Okay, Cherie. People who gossip or complain about mutual friends or co-workers. You may feel special that they want to share this with you and curious about what they are talking about, but they're likely saying the same type of things about you to everyone else. It's a similar situation with people who complain about their exes to you when you're dating. You'll probably become another person they complain about to the next person they are dating. Oh, I friended you by accident. Is that okay? HM. So you're a bot. Nice. The biggest red flag when meeting someone is when they say, "Hey, you're finally awake. You got caught crossing the border. Like me and that horse thief over there." It's even worse if you just woke in a horse-drawn carriage. If they keep talking, rambling, umming, and don't let me get a word in, because conversations involve 2 or more people, right? Making me politely interject more than once. If they start a monologue, I'm no longer a participant in the conversation. I've become a hostage. They drive like an asshole. Asshole driver equals asshole. When they have rules for their life that they expect others to abide to. If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best, kinda it. The first time I met one of my old roommates, she told me she had a 3-strike rule with people and then she was done with them forever. Everyone has general rules of thumb in life. Things they learn to be true, etc. But to take the time to essentially announce this to people you're meeting is more or less of a warning about you than others in your past present life. The totally shocking plot twist? She was a horrible person. Ironically, this did not apply to the guy she was constantly breaking up with throughout the year. They judge people for being on meds. What someone takes for their ADHD is their problem. I always knew I was an arsehole, but I do a decent number of these things. Sorry guys. If they cheated with you, they will cheat on you. I don't even have to read the top comments. The best answer is, more than when they only talk about themselves and their accomplishments. Even better, when you try to add to the conversation with relevant experiences, and they immediately respond with a story just like yours, but just a little bit better. I hate drama. Literally anyone who loves and constantly causes attracts drama. They make a point of letting you know that they are a good Christian. People who get angry way too easily. So annoying. We should go out and get pissed tonight. Mate, we literally just met 2 minutes ago. I don't even know your ducking name. I am not going to make myself vulnerable through alcohol with you at night in a dodgy town I've never been to, just because we have the same phone. People who lead with their trauma. None of that makes that person unique, nor will it excuse their bad behavior, which almost without fail will follow. I'm specifically referring to people that tell you about all of the ways they've been traumatized within an hour of meeting them. In no way do I think people should never talk about their traumas. Please go find a therapist or counselor. It's important. That said, it's a bit much and assumes a lot about the person you're trying to become acquainted with to think your trauma is unique when you're having an opening conversation. No one gets through life without trauma.